everybody. Welcome to the Wrestling Through the Years podcast. The biggest, the greatest, the sexiest, the biggest dicks.
Well, I mean, we are assholes. But...
Yeah. Maybe not the hardware to back that statement up, but we got the software, damn it. If we're here, I'm Dizzle.
I'm Dutchy.
Money E.
And we are the NWO. No,
Nimrod World Order.
Yeah. Nuisance. And we're here to talk about this isn't the breakdown. This is the main show. And we're here to talk some wrestling. And we're here to go back in time.
The nerdy white ovulas. NWO.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah,
I liked your first one better. But it was still good.
Yeah, you shouldn't have screwed with the first one.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know you were ovulating, but
anyway,
I fucked that up. That's bad. I forgot I made that. But we are here to talk some wrestling and to talk with things that we once loved before it turned into ash, before it turned into the Death Riders. Something that I was so bought in on, and that I loved this when I first watched it. I know Eric did. Doug was a fan too. Yeah. Even though I was going through some fucking crazy personal shit which is crazy. But I love that event, and we're going back and watching it. AEW Double or Nothing 2019. That's what we're here to do tonight. We got a couple of orders of business first, but that's what we're here to talk about. And what was once, I mean, and I love AEW. I still watch them, and I still support them, and I want them to make me I want them to make me say fuck WWE. I really do. I was so bought in on that revolution.
You got a better chance of TNA doing that.
I just hate that it went to WCW. Everything I love always fucking ends up making WWE better. And then it's like, now I gotta watch WWE, and it always fucking happens, and it happened again. But hopefully they can come back. I'm rooting for them. But here we are.
2 million people in this show that are in WWE right now.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
No, you Penta, Cody. I mean, Smiley Kylie's on the ID program, but I don't know if that counts.
Yeah.
But who else?
Am I forgetting somebody?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Ego's not on this one. I'm really trying to rack my fucking brain. I don't
Jade's
think so.
not there yet.
Felix is not there.
All right, dude.
Felix, because he's going to go into WWE soon if he gets released.
Well,
who?
Phoenix.
Oh yeah. He wants to fucking leave so bad. He's like, get me the fuck out of here now. But I'm excited to talk about this show. Is there big matches announced for SmackDown tonight?
So they did announce earlier on. So Bayley and Miss Stratton are going at it for the women's title tonight. You got the Machine Guns taking on Los Garza. Solo Sikoa makes his return, and announced earlier Nia Jax and Candice LeRae versus Bianca and Naomi.
All right. Tiffy wins the title match. Los Garza beats the Machine Guns somehow. I think DIY might fuck them.
Okay.
That's the only. I don't think it's going to be a clean finish. And I think Jackson Candy lose.
I agree with that.
I do too, only because I really don't see anything real significant, happening. The only significant thing I can see happen is that Roxanne Perez is the one that cost Bayley the title tonight because they had that brawl on Monday.
Yeah.
This is the go-home show before the go-home show. For Saturday, the main event.
No, it's not, because Saturday night's main event's next week.
Oh, yeah.
So did everyone give their predictions, or what do you think?
I agree with your position.
You guys agreed on Jax.
Yeah.
You, I mean, you gave me the what the fuck are you thinking eyes when I said about Los Garza. So you think Machine Guns win to
Yes,
set up the DIY match?
I do think the
That
Machine
is
Guns win.
That definitely could happen.
And as far as the
I think Naomi and
Yes.
what's her face win? Bianca. What up,
It's
Sean?
like WCW the whole way through because they had a hot period. It wasn't as hot, but
well, do you remember what Kevin Nash said a few weeks ago? That he said he talked to somebody in WWE, and he told that person, he's like, you know what? WCW 92 is more competition to WWE than AEW is right now.
I don't agree with that. I think they're the second biggest after WCW to ever they didn't get close obviously. Nitro and WCW got way fucking more close. But them early days AEW, a revolution was sparking up. It was sparking up. I was ready. Eric was ready. A lot of people were ready. And WWE was sucking ass for so long and doing so much bullshit angles. Around that time is when we got the fucking Seth Rollins Bray Fiend fucking Hell in a Cell that ended in a no contest, fucking, which does not happen in a fucking no rules match. And the fans are chanting AEW, and the fucking people were ready, but it obviously didn't get as close as WCW. It's like watching Jerry versus Tito Santana. Those are two guys I really like, but I
match
do.
That happened in Buffalo, by the way.
AEW has spark a little something, and they did get them on their toes a little bit.
I remember they had the Double or Nothing. Fyter Fest was really good because it was so short and it was perfect.
I think that was our first wrestling review show.
Yeah. The Fyter Fest that the Fight for the Fallen that they did.
Yep.
That's when you started to think, all right, they go on way too long because they did a Rhodes Brothers versus Young Bucks 45-minute match that sucked after 20.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. No.
I remember yawning, is this thing almost done?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they fucking botched.
That was free TV, wasn't it?
No,
it was free on Bleacher Report. You didn't have to pay the $50 for it.
Okay.
But you had to have Bleacher Report.
And that show still had some good shit on it.
I mean, it did, but it's that's when you started to see it's all right, maybe this show, because I figured as long as the Young Bucks were going to keep going over, the company was going to suck.
Yeah, but even those first 12 episodes of Dynamite, in 2019 Dynamite, and it's on Max for people to enjoy now, was a stellar, tight wrestling show that was building. They did have some flaws. The Dark Order wasn't hitting until Brody got there. There was Joey Janela was never going to be there was a couple things.
And they tried with Janela.
Yeah, they did. He had to self-sabotage his own ass. But fucking they really tried to get something out of him. And they did. They had a lot of good shit though. You go back and watch it, and especially because those episodes of Dynamite, it's the build up to Full Gear with Jericho and Cody, which is a great story and build up to them like that. They had some really good shit that first year. Pandemic hit, they kind of stuck in there, especially WWE was putting on some cinematic good shit, but it really wasn't hitting yet. No one likes any pandemic wrestling, AEW or WWE. They don't want to go back and watch it. But after that, never really recovered. Never really started. The booking flaws really started to come out. And then Cody leaves and other things happen. But that's when it got a little okay, this place is a little doomed. But at first, they had enough good to outweigh the bad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They had some
flaws.
It
might not say much, but I think right now they're better than they were 2 years ago. If that makes sense.
They're getting the
no,
not when Punk was still there.
Oh yeah, never mind.
And MJF was getting hot, and
Yeah,
Never mind.
I mean, you have this stupid Death Rider group, and you have the guys, and like you have that rated FTR, Cope and his dopes. Like, here's where you lost me now, and how like they're supposedly going to be the saviors of AEW, right? Well, they let an AEW guy, they let Powerhouse Hobbs get hurt the other day. They did not come out to save him until
So after. I was wondering when is somebody going to come and help him?
Yeah.
Nobody helped him.
And they did the thing where they Pillmanized Hobbs' leg, and it's just like, you're really going to be the saviors when you don't come out till they. I mean, what happened? You forget to wipe after you pooped?
Yeah, now he's in this. Are they writing him out of the 12-man now?
Yeah, like there's a 12-man that's supposed to take place tomorrow night. Thank God we're watching a football game and not that shit.
Because now some reason fucking Jericho and fucking Moxley, like someone compared it to the NWO working with the. I think it was Cornette's dude, Brian Last. He compared it to the NWO working with the Dungeon of Doom back in the day.
Yeah,
like it's like completely different gimmicks, but they're coming together. The learning tree. And
somebody was a Mr. Q.
And Sean, to your comment, I think Bayley's a lifer for WWE, but she is best friends with Mercedes, so I do think that door could always be open if they pissed her off enough. So, but she seems very happy, and always, I think that she's going to be there for the long haul.
Yeah,
and she's had so much success, unless she gets like a midlife crisis thing and really like wants to prove she can do it without WWE. And besides the Mercedes connection, I don't see any other avenue. But she is best friends with Mercedes. She goes to AEW shows to support Mercedes, so there is a door there. I go back to AEW current. I go back to the mission statement, which was we're not going to be 2011 TNA. We're not going to be late stage WCW. We will not have too many older, a couple, but not too many older WWE guys. We're going to rely on these independent guys, and we're going to fucking build them up. And make them
here we are.
And right now we are building to Edge versus Dean Ambrose for the world title. That is what we're building. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to criticize it. I'm just going to say that statement in full and leave it up to interpretation. That was the mission statement.
I'm hoping it's just a one-off.
Up to that. And we just broke a homegrown guy's legs. We just broke a homegrown guy that's getting over and could be like our Bobby Lashley for the future, even though we have Lashley. Our guy, like maybe our Brock Lesnar, our big money guy someday. We're just going to break his leg and have Moxley break his leg.
By the way, they already taped Collision, but I didn't look at the spoilers yet because I didn't know if you were going to get mad at me, even though we're not watching it tomorrow.
And I think all this discussion, even though we are still in predictions, all this discussion is good because it does kind of relate to Double or Nothing and the potential that the company had. But let's do some predictions for Collision tomorrow first. None of us have read the spoilers. I haven't read them.
I haven't read them either. I know that they were there, but I don't want to feel the wrath of the Diz.
Right. I always forget that they're not live.
But this is what's going down at Maximum Carnage, baby. The AEW Continental Championship match with Okada versus Ishii. I think Okada retains.
Okada's definitely going to retain, but it's gonna be ugly.
Yeah,
I'm actually looking forward to that one. The Texas Death match with Paige and Daniels.
I think Paige destroys him and somebody comes. I don't know who, but
I think Paige gets the win, though.
Well, Paige gets the win, and I think Daniel's going to retire.
Yeah,
because I think this is going to be his swan song here.
I'm trying to think who could come and feud with Paige that could save him from being like really destroyed.
Sean, if you're complaining, we feel you.
We get it. No, Eric's a great guy.
Hey.
Well, that's not a mean comment. He's just.
What I said was mean.
He just did a show with you, for God's sakes.
I know.
Which was good, by the way.
Very good.
Thank you.
Everybody likes you. You're a lovable guy. All right, now
Jesus Christ, he's doing another show with us tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. And I want him to do a wrestling one soon because he knows a lot. And me and him watched a lot of wrestling together back in the day.
Yeah.
I remember being and fucking putting each other through cardboard and fucking. I remember him styles clashing me through plywood so vividly, and I think I was like 12 years old. But that's another matter.
Now, are we going to talk at all about like when you guys tried to reenact the moves, but you used body oil and Jello?
No, that was much later. Much later in life. No, I'm just kidding. To follow up another stellar collision main event after off a ladder. I forgot about the ladder match. I forgot about, with the title on the roof of a house. Fucking, we didn't give a fuck, dog.
Yeah.
That's why don't try this at home. That was a suggestion, dog. The 12-man tag coming off of Jericho and Dax's stellar performance last week. That's been judged.
The Battle of the Nita Broads.
Was such love. No, one of the more shit on main events of the year. And now we're getting a 12-man tag with the Death Riders and the Learning Tree, the weirdest alliance of all time, against Rated FTR, Powerhouse Hobbs, maybe, and the Outrunners.
I hope that's not the main event.
It's going to be the main
Well, we're going to be watching a true main event tomorrow when it's the Commanders and the Lions.
I'm still going to watch this episode, though.
Yeah.
Because I got to see Okada. But what's announced for Raw?
I know Rollins and McIntyre is.
And by the way, I think the Death Riders Learning Tree connection gets the win, probably.
More than likely.
Miz and who?
Rollins and McIntyre.
Oh, God, I thought you said the Miz. G. McIntyre, I'm not here to hurt ya. I'm here to help ya.
I think it ends in a no contest. CM Punk interferes. CM Punk gets involved somehow.
Yeah, because you can't keep his big fucking head.
He's ready
So
to
it ends in
swing.
no contest.
He'll swing on anybody. I'm the biggest Punk fan there. Like
That's what his wife said back in the day.
Well, not the biggest Punk fan. I have been critical in the past, but I've also loved the brilliance that is CM Punk, and he has given the wrestling business so much good shit. And
so who are you rooting for if it's Punk and
Rhodes?
Okay. I am too.
That family and the Dusty connection and all that is far more. That is my favorite family in professional wrestling. That's my favorite assembly of three wrestlers that has ever been. But CM Punk is the fucking shit. I don't want him to do it because it's going to turn the people on Cody. I've been saying that. I don't want him to do it unless they want to turn Cody heel. Because all you're going to hear is CM Punk, and then it's going to be CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and then it's going to turn to CM Punk. Fuck you, Cody. I know how it'll go. And I just, if you want to keep a babyface, you can't do that. But
You
it'll
can't
still
do
Cena either because people are going to want to see him get to 17. And people, like, he has so much love in the wrestling community now. It won't be the split crowd it used to be. With
So
Cena.
who would it have to be?
I think Drew McIntyre should win the Royal Rumble. I've been saying that. I think it should be
Drew versus Cody.
I think Drew and Cody, and Drew's doing it to stop everybody else. And he's like, that I did the right thing. I'm keeping Roman from the title. And then maybe you make it a triple threat or so. You do something crazy. And he's like, nah, Roman made it. He's taking away my dream. You could do some shit like that. But maybe don't do that. Maybe don't.
You do Punk and Gunther.
They didn't give up on Gunther. They're building him up slowly. If you go from the Cody loss at that at the Saudi show to the Damian Priest match, that's a good story. And him starting to doubt himself and him having to prove himself in that, and then fucking Finn costing it, so that he's like, oh, that fucking. He stole my victory from me. And then you go into the triple threat, and that's a good match. And I think Gunther's been steady involved in some good shit. Is he as over as everybody else on the card? No. But he's a big monster heel, and he needs a couple main events. He needs a couple of right now, Cody's going to be on night 2 and all that shit. Gunther doesn't really have but if you maybe even do the Royal Rumble and then do a world title match with Gunther after, you're not going to because Isn't the Saturday night's main event him and Jay?
Yeah.
So, but he needs to be positioned a little differently. But it's still an all right title run right now.
You know, you need to do Drew McIntyre cosplay. You sound just like him. And you know what?
You want me in a kilt?
A kilt, the washboard abs,
The sword?
Yeah. Actually, no, I don't think we should put a sword in your hand.
The washboard flab. But no, yeah. I think Drew would be in it because no one's expecting it, and it'll be good heel heat if like fucking Cena almost wins or somebody almost, and then he fucking does it. He was a 5-minute champion before.
In so many ways.
Who, Gunther?
No, Drew.
Oh yeah,
because he had the title for 5 minutes of WrestleMania, and then he made the mistake of taunting the most bitter fucking asshole on the planet.
Yeah, and he told him to blow him like right in front of his face. Like I already showed that one, Eric. But he's I'd like to see him do it because I think it would be interesting and different. And I like that he's in the mix. I like his little story. I'll give it a charge job in a second.
Right.
But I like where they're going with it. All right. Do you guys think Drew's gonna win, or who do you?
The match on Monday, I do think it's gonna be Drew.
I said no contest.
All right.
That's his way of saying he doesn't want to predict.
All right, you want to get into double or nothing?
Punk is gonna interfere.
I mean, it is possible, but I mean, I'm saying Drew's going to win because I need Seth to win so I can get points. And
what's on Dynamite next week?
I don't even know if they've announced anything for Dynamite next week.
All right, we'll get back to everybody on that. Let's get to double or nothing. You ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
AEW's first show.
First pay-per-view. Fucking
11,000 in attendance. They filled up a place. The MGM Grand Garden Arena in Paradise, Nevada. The buy rate was between 109,000 and 113. JR on commentary, Excalibur, and the great Alex Marvez, which that was the one thing about this show that I forgot that guy blew. Because I forgot they gave him a shot. And because a lot of people aren't Excalibur fans, but they still like – you watch that show and you can see why they went with him. Because he kind of was the play-by just trying, but boy was he sucking.
He was trying, but he was like failing miserably.
So bad. It didn't.
Now Tony wasn't with the company yet, right? Schiavone?
Yeah. Not yet. I think he was still
negotiating.
They were trying to get him with the company.
Okay. Because I was wondering why he wasn't doing this pay-per-view.
I wouldn't be shocked at Cena winning, Sean. And I don't know about the Chamber. He won 16 in the Chamber. No, he won that against AJ. But he lost it in the Chamber.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think they're going to build it out and draw it out and like to where like he's challenging in the last couple months. He's like, I might not do it. I think it's probably going to be something like that. But
I do think we see Cena and Punk one more time.
Cena and Punk, Cena and Orton. I want Cena and Carlito. and Cena and a couple other people.
Orton might be his last match.
I don't know about that. All right. On the pre-show, we get the 21-man Casino Battle Royal, which was a very good match.
Yeah.
Adam Page wins by eliminating MJF, and whoever wins this thing, this is their first Casino Battle Royal, and that becomes a staple of AEW.
Yes.
And whoever wins gets to challenge the winner of the main event at All Out for the inaugural World Championship.
I mean, now it's called the Casino Gauntlet match. They don't really do the Battle Royal anymore. Now it's just a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Yeah. They used to do the ladder one, too.
Yeah.
I've had a couple casino-related matches.
And Adam Page
Tony Khan has a gambling addiction.
He's got a lot of money.
I think Adam Page won 2 or 3 of them already.
And this was good because it set up your two main guys for the future.
Yeah.
This is what they wanted to do. I mean, on the pre-show, I would have done this as the first match on the card. especially because Glacier was in it. I'd love to see him on the main. But I did like this, and I do think it probably should have opened up the show because these are your two guys building towards that are going to be on TV and are going to But it was a cool way to and for the first thing you ever see from AEW is Adam Page and MJF. That kind of sets the fucking tone for the rest of the company.
Yeah, exactly.
Now Angle's too old. Let him drink his milk in peace.
Yeah.
But I like this one. I thought it was really good. It was a fun battle. It had a Royal Rumble feel. It wasn't quite as big, but it was a fun little opener to a pre-show. And it set up some big stars to come. And they still had their shine on the MJF and Adam Page still got presented on Double or Nothing.
You had some legends. You had Tommy Dreamer. You had
you had a dude with no legs.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Glacier. I said that. Yeah, Glacier. It was a good battle royal. But I would say
2 out of
3.2 out of 5.
Yeah.
I would probably say I'd say 3.4.
Eric?
I'll give it a 2.5.
All right. Now, two young guys that would go on to have varying degrees of success.
Oh, God.
Kip Sabian and Sammy Guevara. The best ever, Sammy Guevara. Kip Sabian gets the dub after 10 minutes.
I mean, it was a good match. It was just I don't think anybody really cared about either one yet.
No. But it was a fun, flippy match,
Yeah.
And that was a little more of like what AEW was going to be. What it was ultimately going to be. It was just two like little guys flying around. And I liked Sammy from the beginning. I've always seen something in him. I wish he wasn't such an idiot, but behind the scenes he always seems to fuck up his push. But there's been plenty of times where Sammy has gotten hot on AEW television, and it seemed like he was going to break through.
And then he fucked up.
He just barely did.
I'll give it a 2 out. I'll give it a 2.5.
Sean will give it a 3.
So yeah, I give the match like a 3.3. The funny thing about Sammy Guevara is that like when they wanted to push him as like a huge baby face, unfortunately, because it's like the whole thing with with Lita, with Lita, Edge, and Matt. When Lita was still a baby face, but the fans were booing the shit out of her because in real life she cheated on Matt Hardy. And, in real life, Sammy Guevara cheats on a girl who he had just proposed to 3 months prior.
Yeah, but that gave him good heel heat.
Yeah. Well, they were trying to push him as a babyface, though. And
it worked for a while.
And by the way, I feel horrible for the woman that got dragged on TV and was proposed to, and she thought she was marrying the love of her life. And it turns out that he went, that's true, Sean. It turns out that he, wanted, another woman instead. I feel bad for the woman that, was cheated on.
Ty Conti is fucking hot.
I'm trying not to be shallow here.
My bad.
Yeah.
but fucking, he didn't make a terrible choice.
No, he went for somebody that he thought, and a lot of other people's opinions. Again, I get in too much trouble. But
in like 10 minutes, you're going to be talking about a wrestler sucking another wrestler's dick, fucking burning another bridge for the show.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
But so Sammy Guevara made a choice. A lot of people will say, and they are more than likely correct, he made the right one because she was fucking. The fucking pictures that they put on X of them fucking on the belt. All right, and they were getting a lot of heel heat, which By the way, that is a sex tape that I'm sure that a lot of porno companies would like to have.
Didn't they have a baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a baby. I
So
think they're married now.
Well,
They're
at least
actually
they're
married.
massively in love.
Yeah, they're massively in love, and it worked out for the best. It wasn't one of those things to where with Edge and Lita, where they got together, and then when Edge realized that Lita was no longer good for his push, he dumped her.
Yeah.
We married Beth Phoenix.
After making her get naked for a live sex celebration.
Yeah. Lita is one of the most I feel bad for her out of a lot. Like everyone talks about Trish and fucking having the dog thing. Lita fucking came out to a chorus of slut chants like every night. Yeah. And it was personal, and it was like over her real. It wasn't a part of the show. I mean, it was a part of the show because they meant, but this is this woman's real life, and she's just coming out to being called a whore all the time. The wrestlers are calling her a whore, and everybody, and it's just like the biggest slut shaming ever. And this fucking poor girl, she made a decision. A lot of people do, and sometimes you make wrong and right, but her shit got aired the fuck out all over TV, and she played, and she was a constant fucking professional, man, and she fucking. And just like Matt had to go through, and that was humiliating for him, how humiliating was it for her? Edge is kind of the one that got all the, because and then he's straight to the main event from there. And so Edge is the one who maybe the most wrong in the situation and benefited the most from it.
Did you hear the story?
Which is insane.
Yeah. Did you hear the story that Edge told that he apparently was going to win the title at that Taboo Tuesday?
No, I didn't.
The 1-04?
No, tell me.
Apparently, he had been told, look, hopefully you win the vote. Because if you win the vote, you're going over. You're going to beat Hunter for the title. Because the voting, I guess, was 100% legit. So they did the vote, and Shawn had injured his knee. So they told Shawn, they're like, tell the people not to vote for you. Because we need them to vote for Edge because we want this title switch.
Yeah.
And he lost by 1%. And it's just all right, well, we're not switching the title. But yeah, apparently he would have had a world title win in 2004 had the fan base not voted for Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, and I get and I get wanting stuff to be legit, but if that was really going to be your plan, and Vince McMahon, the only thing he's legit at is being a piece of shit, just fudge the numbers a little bit. I mean, they do that every presidential election.
I like that. That was the cool thing about Taboo Tuesday, though, is that they had 3 different plans for whatever could happen. They're playing with the fucking laptop.
I actually missed that. They should bring that back.
Yeah. I mean, and the funny thing is that, and I appreciate them staying legit and all that with the voting, but it's just if you really had this kind of a plan, it's just if they really wanted to do it, they would have fudged the numbers a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. I'm surprised they didn't.
All right, you ready to get to the main show at Double or Nothing?
Sure.
All right. We start out with SoCal Uncensored. SCU. Christopher
I forgot how
Daniels.
over they were.
They were extremely over and telling the city how much they hated them, and Scorpio Sky, Daniels, and Kazarian. And they defeat the Strong Hearts, which is Shima, T-Hawk, and E. Lindemann. And Shima, I remember when I first saw Double or Nothing, I'm like, they should do something with Shima. He could be a cool fucking undercard babyface. And then I think they booked him for a little bit and then said, fuck you.
Yeah.
But
Shawn makes a good, because, they did do the same thing. They wanted it to be, Batista was going to be the guy to win the Intercontinental title at that Taboo Tuesday, but because Shelton got the vote and they were going to take the title off Jericho anyway.
See, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And that worked out for the better. Batista, it ended up okay for him. And that was one of the better.
I mean, he did some things.
He did a couple things. And that was one of the best moments in Shelton Benjamin's career.
Yeah.
And he didn't get a lot of opportunity. I mean, everyone says he was given so many opportunities. Some people do.
Yeah.
I think he was a star that was always fucking could have shined bright. Just I don't know. I don't think it was a lack of charisma.
Yeah.
I don't take that.
I mean, fucking like Batista. I mean, he ended up being fine, except for when they made him come out looking like a big jar of blueberry jelly.
Yeah, and I agree with Sean.
I agree too.
He was so underrated.
Yeah.
When he beat Triple H, I remember watching that as a kid, and I believed, and I was ready for him to. He could have won the world title at some point. I was a kid, and they had me in, and I was ready for Shelton Benjamin. And then they slowly stopped becoming a fan because of the way he was booked. And I'm like, if his old mama's yelling at him because he's losing matches, maybe this guy's a bum, and I should root for somebody else. Randy Orton's way cooler. At least he has his dad with him. Shelton Benjamin's so underrated.
Yeah.
This match was a great opener that showed what AEW was going to be in the future.
I loved it.
All guys worked. The best Meltzer ever was a fun finish. Sheba, I thought, worked a great match. The other two were a little bit behind, but still pretty good. And I think SCU is a good, well-functioning, well-oiled machine.
Yeah. Because Frankie's in TNA now. What happened to Scorpio?
He's still under AEW contract. They're just not doing anything with him.
Oh. And then, obviously, Christopher Daniels is facing Hangman tomorrow.
Yeah. And by the way, Christopher Daniels is AEW's talent relations guy.
Yep.
Like we keep forgetting that. Like he runs AEW's talent relations division.
And he's Adam Pearce.
Yep.
He's little Adam Pearce.
He's Adam Pearce when Pearce isn't stopping by McDonald's.
Well, Pearce isn't fat. He's just taller than him.
Oh, yeah. That suit makes him look fat.
He's got a little more chub than Aldis, but I don't know if I would call him an obese gentleman. This match was...
I just said he liked McDonald's.
Okay. Yeah. And I don't want to judge. Maybe a lot of skinny people like McDonald's. A lot of big fat fuck. I like McDonald's.
Yeah.
All right.
3.5.
McDonald's? That's a 5. This match is a 3-3.
I give it a 3-8.
It was a great opener that made me very hopeful for AEW.
Yep. It was a good match to start out to get the crowd hot.
And they've shown how much they like trios, so start with trios.
Yeah.
Now we get our women's division, which was heavily criticized at the time. A 4-way match between Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And she defeats Nyla Rose, Smiley Kylie Ray in her first and last performance with the company. And Awesome Kong was one of her few performances for the company.
Yeah.
And Awesome Kong gets announced by Brandy, beforehand. And I love the Rhodes family. And I'm not throwing it to you at all during this segment. But
I was just gonna say
Brandy Rhodes, she had a couple, her AEW, what she tried, everything she tried, everything that Cody did worked. I don't know if it was all her idea or if it was stuff given to her. The Jade Cargill promo is the best thing that she ever did in AEW. When she called Jade Cargill a heifer, it was really going after her. That was like, if we could get that Brandy every night, let's fucking go. This shit at the beginning, though, was a little brutal.
Yeah.
Awesome Kong was cool, but Brandy's promo and everything, it's like...
kind of cringe.
Yeah, it was a little cringy. But
she is really good looking. I'll say that. And
she's the first lady. I mean, she's the queen of wrestling. She's I have nothing but respect for her, and that family is a well-oiled machine, and she seems to offer a lot of support and help for Cody in his career. So, and I love when she came out at WrestleMania, I popped. Yeah, seeing her journey with him and Rhodes to the top, like that show, their Ms. and Mrs. show was some fun to watch. So like seeing her, like she does have personality and a lot of charisma. It's just that doesn't always translate to wrestling. And I think at that brief period of time at AEW, she wasn't putting on the greatest.
She's gotten a lot of heat from the fans over the years.
Yeah, I don't dislike. I think she's awesome. But as far as like a personality character, I like her more as like the supportive wife that'll come out at WrestleMania and fucking kiss him on the cheek.
And I'm not.
She's a good Miss Elizabeth.
She's a good Miss Elizabeth, and she's also good at the business stuff, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and that seems
if she
like
can promote Cody's brand, she's fine.
That whole thing's a partnership, and it works.
Yep.
But
exactly.
As far as her doing her own gimmicks and storylines and shit, didn't work.
The stuff she did in the ring and all that, and
she couldn't really wrestle.
She had trouble,
and the stories were bad.
Yeah. And plus, remember when she came into the company, they didn't hire her as a wrestler. They hired her as a ring announcer.
Yeah.
And when or WWE hired her as a ring announcer. So she really had no training. She had a couple of matches in TNA against Maria Kanellis, who, by the way, she's not that great either.
Well, I'd give Brandy more kudos than Maria.
So, no, I'm saying that Maria's not.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
So it's like, okay, and you're bringing her in and you want her to be part of this women's division, but she's better off as being like the branding officer and doing the marketing and doing the promoting.
And even if you want to be Cody's manager for big matches, like, I'm cool with that. And I like her escorting him to the ring and then bouncing, or coming in at the end for a big, like her involvement in WrestleMania 40.
She was Stephanie before Stephanie became
no. Stephanie's the best female heel, one of them of all time, and all her stuff is that innocent, darling babyface stuff, with his cringe as fuck. But Brandy, like, her involvement in wrestling, like, you forget about the little things that make WrestleMania 40. The reason fucking we're almost in tears and we're sitting there like this is the greatest moment ever is the little shit like his mom and him holding the belt. And it's also the little shit like him holding the title, she coming up to him, kissing him on the cheek, and then you see that camera shot of him fucking smiling next to his fucking, like, they did it. Like, you see them from AEW, now you see him now. He fucking did it. This is the moment, and his wife's there with him, and that's sweet. And she's great in that role.
And by the way, like, it's still like fucking awesome the fact that like Cody didn't even know his mom had gotten in the ring, and Sami Zayn's just like, your mom is here.
Yeah, everything about like that whole thing is just a moment that it's the best. It's one of the best babyface wins of all time. Like there's no way to cut it. Like it's just the grand, the spectacle, all the people, like the moment, how much it meant to Cody, Samantha Irvin crying, everything, all the whole package fucking made it.
Yeah,
the babyfaces coming in the ring, everything about that was special.
So this match, this 4-way, I liked how Britt worked because Britt was good back in the day. She's not as good as she once was, which is weird because this was only 5 years ago. But you can also tell because even like she still gets criticism for when Serena Deeb came out after one of Britt's matches and they were going to start a program and Britt looked in the camera and said, nobody cares. It's like, bitch, you have to put over your own shit.
Was she just talking about the girl, though?
I that's the thing. Nobody knows. Everybody interprets it as nobody's going to care about this match.
She might just say, you're not a big deal. You're not at my level.
Well, then
I get it. But why do we have to pick apart like things on an entertainment show? Like, to me, every little thing that they do, and I know AEW gets judged differently because it's booked differently. So it kind of needs to get skewed. A little bit skewing on that, but still, like she could have been. That could have been part of the angle. Like,
I mean, it could have been, but like the way she's like, the way she acts a lot. Like, again, we bitch and moan and we bitch and complain about, rightfully so, about how she looked uninterested at All In, right?
Yeah, and that's a moment like you're not the heel, you're the baby face. This could be yes, you're going to lose the match, but this is but so many people like this almost means more, and it was positioned higher than the women's world championship. Yeah. Like people might think this is the main title. Like this is kind of a big fucking deal. Yeah. And you're going out there with a boo-boo face.
Yeah.
So like,
because she was one of the people, and like from what I had heard, she was one of the people and the main person bitching and moaning about Mercedes coming in, especially on a big contract.
it's just stupid.
She was not like thrilled about it. We know that she wasn't too happy. Like she bitched and moaned and complained about Thunder Rosa having to take time off when Thunder Rosa was the champion because of her back. And it's like, all right, well, you want a girl to end up paralyzed working in the ring just because you don't want like Thunder Rosa had to take care of her health.
Yeah. And I'm not here to assassinate Britt Baker's character. And I'm a fan. And I still think that she could be the face of that division. And this match sets her up, props her up to do that. She gets the win. You know, like, and Awesome Kong and Nyla Rose are both in that match, who are the two big monster, you know, like they could and Britt Baker wins the match. So like she had a lot of moments in there too. So I like what she
Ray, right?
She pinned Kylie. And I like when she did the smiley, even though that was some heel shit. But this match was a fucking probably a 1.9.
I'm gonna say 2-1.
2-5.
And here's the thing. And Kylie Ray unfortunately didn't work out for her. You know, a lot of rumors and all that as to why it didn't work out. We don't specifically know.
Yeah,
so we're not gonna comment on it. But I mean, the fact that you know she's suffered from bipolar depression and anxiety and all that. I mean, probably being in WWE's NIL or ID program probably is not a good thing for somebody with you know, depression and anxiety. But like, you know, Kylie Ray, she like every time she felt like she had everything under control, she would make a return to somewhere. And the poor girl, she just could not catch a break because something would always happen. I don't know, like if it was a personal thing or if she realized that everybody in whatever locker room she was in are just pieces of shit.
Well, first of all, this character, if you're going to judge the character that we've seen on TV, Bailey ripoff.
I mean, that's basically, I think, what she was meant to be.
Bailey ripoff, especially at the time. You were just.
Where is she now? She's still in WWE.
Bailey?
No, Kylie.
No, she's under that ID pro. She's still wrestling independent, but WWE has that independent like thing now to where they can like she's an ID prospect for the WWE.
Oh, okay.
So they might bring her into NXT or something at some point. I don't know like the official terms behind that, but I think WWE's she might be on the payroll a little bit. She might they might be trying to like scout her. I don't know, but she's on that ID program, so she's a little WWE affiliated right now. But yeah, the character didn't really work for me. It was an all right match.
And she was the rightful person to take the pin.
I like the Japanese women better later on.
Yeah.
That's the women's match I like better.
I thought that was more of a representation of the women's division. Yeah. The next we have, which when you first watched this, you said was the best match on the card.
Yeah.
I wonder if you have the same view.
No.
The best friends, Chucky T and Trent. I forget. See, when you said you forgot how over SoCal was, I forgot how much the crowd loved these two fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they're going against Angelico, which is a dancing fucking Dean Ambrose. Pretty much. It looks like
a dancing Dean Ambrose that likes sausage.
Okay. Jack Evans.
And Jack Evans, who, you know, one of those guys that like all the talent in the world in the ring, maybe not, you know, personality wise, can get it done.
And the funny thing about Jack Evans loses a hair versus hair match to Orange Cassidy because they were doing that Hardy brand thing.
Yeah.
And like they were all aligned with Matt Hardy. And they lose the hair. He loses the hair versus hair match because Matt Hardy didn't want to put his hair on the line against Orange Cassidy. So he had Jack Evans do it. Jack Evans loses the match. And then after Jack Evans loses the match, so he doesn't have to go on AEW TV with the bald head, he gets himself arrested and fucking like ends up getting quietly released from AEW, so he does not have to show his bald head on TV.
That's commitment right there.
Yeah.
Angle just got a wig. Oh, hey, even Molly Holly stuck it out.
Yeah. It's just like, Jack, you got to be on TV. You got to show off your bald head. Nah, I'm going to go slap a stripper. I don't know if that's actually what he did, but it was either something at a strip club or, a bag of blow or something.
Molly Holly doesn't get enough credit for shaving her head bald in WrestleMania 20.
Yeah. in Madison Square Garden, by the way.
Yeah. And then and they did so many things with them ripping the wig off her head and on Raw after that. And that poor girl, she took it like a champ. And that was I always forget about that. But this match was solid. It was a good tag team endeavor with a lot of good work in there. And the hugging spots are always fun. Yep. But I'd probably give it a 3 flat.
I would probably say 3-1.
I'd give it a 3-5.
I don't remember. It's not as good as I thought it was when I first watched it, but I feel the same way about a lot of the stuff like
my friends was going to be one of the top tag teams in AEW.
I did. Maybe I'm just more of a critical asshole now, but I did have a lot of rose-tinted glasses about this show, and going back and watching it, I noticed some more stuff that really didn't jive. It really didn't work. But because when I first
saw it, when you watch it live.
Yeah, when you've watched something sometimes you get caught into the magic. I was caught into the magic on this one a little bit, but it is still a really solid, good wrestling show. It's going to get a high rating. And the later on, everything from this moment on is solid to great.
Yep.
So take that with what you will. Let's go on to the 6-woman tag. We got Hikaru Shida, who would end up being a big deal for them.
Yeah,
a 3-time women's champion. Riho, who was the inaugural women's champion.
Yep.
A lot of big money on that side. And Ryo Mizunami, who we never saw again on AEW TV.
I don't remember.
And they go against Aja Kong, a Japanese legend, Emi Sakura, and Yuka Sakazaki.
Yeah. This match was really fucking good. I mean, yes, they had the botch at the end.
Yeah. And the crowd, you fucked up. But and that's what it was like. I was like, yeah, this is an independent, like this is ECW feel, baby. Like I like that shit. But all women, that hard hitting Japanese. I've always I know a lot of people say it doesn't translate to the States, and I know they're Japanese so they can't talk promos. But them Japanese girls, I've always, they beat the shit out of each other. They fucking work stiff. It's like fucking Vader in there.
They're even more hardcore than the men.
Yeah, when Sheeta hits a big knee, you're like, oh my god, like they're really fucking going at it. So like they're pulling no punches. This feels like a real athletic contest where they're trying to fucking win, and for that reason alone, I'll give the match a 4.
I'll say 4-3.
I'll say a 3-9.
Yeah, I think it was really solid. I think Sheeta looked good, and you could tell where she was going to go in the future.
Yeah.
And also it set Riho up, and that team looked really strong. And also Aja Kong, I wish they would have done more with her. And I wish they could have done that Aja Kong, Awesome Kong thing.
Yeah. Because that they teased but never fucking got to.
All right. Next, and the brother versus brother match, which is one of the most half and half on quality matches that there's ever been in wrestling.
Yeah.
To where they're either really fucking good or they're the most mediocre thing of all time. And on the media, the really good side, this one and Brett and Owen, and then on the mediocre side,
the Hardys
and Jimmy and Jay, is sad to say. As much as I love, but Jay Uso will tell you that match was a disappointment. That's not both of the gentlemen, and I love both Hardys, but both of those matches were not what you thought. Like the build-ups were great, but the matches themselves fell flat. Whereas Owen and Brett is one of the best matches ever. And to me, this is the best match in AEW.
I feel like Owen and Brett is still going to be considered the greatest opening match in WrestleMania history.
I can't think of a better one.
I mean,
Sheamus, Daniel Bryan.
No, Brian Triple H.
Brian and Triple H, maybe. I
Is it
mean,
storytelling?
the storytelling, and then Stephanie McMahon. I mean, a lot of people, they mostly remember that match for Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss dressing up as like those Egyptian prostitutes.
What's the one when Brock opened?
That was 35, I think, was Seth, right? Or are you talking about the match with Omos?
No, I'm thinking of Seth. That was the title match, right?
Yeah.
That was a pretty good one.
Because Paul Heyman came out and said, if Brock's not last, he wants to be first. And then he dominates Seth until he takes 3 shots to the plums. And
that was a good match.
Yeah. But the Triple H Daniel Bryan one, that was like, again, most people remember that for Stephanie looking like a flight attendant who frequents the Mile High Club. And like I said, Charlotte and Sasha and Alexa looking like prehistoric prostitutes. Which there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. They look fucking hot.
Now, just to set this next match up, unless you have more on the prostitutes. If you've got a couple more
prehistoric prostitutes really didn't cost that much. It was usually just a stick and a stone.
And then you got to break their bones. All right. This match we're about to talk about is my favorite match AEW's ever put on. It's in my top fucking 2 Cody matches. And it's my favorite Dustin match. So, like, this match is fucking... and I watched it 3 times this week to prepare for this.
Well, the first 2 times to prepare for it, the third one to just jerk off to it.
Yeah. And everything about that, just to set this match up, I've talked about it on the show a little bit. And I just found out that me and Doug witnessed the last bionic elbow that Dusty ever had in Buffalo at Battleground when he hit Dean Ambrose, now Moxley, on the side. And Cody explained that he couldn't get in the ring because his knees were so bad. That's sad. But the fact that I got to see the last fucking bionic elbow, and it's not even about seeing the last thing, but that as a kid, I didn't give a fuck about Cody. Goldust was always cool and funny to me because he was funny in the Ruthless Aggression era. I always loved Dusty for some reason as a kid. Always, when Doug would show me the old shit and stuff, when I went back, I was a huge Dusty guy. And I loved this commentary and WCW. Me and Doug argue about that. But I'm always a big, who'll be bad now? But I'm a big Dusty guy. That moment, being there live, 12, 13, I was still a preteen Hummer, I think.
No, it was right before your 16th birthday.
Oh, okay, so I'm 16. But being there and wrestling, it's not really cool anymore. I'm not really I loved it as a kid and I still loved it, but I'm kind of getting into high school. I'm getting out of it a little bit. Doug takes me to a show. Everything else on that Battleground show sucked. The main event sucked. Big Show fucking crashed the main event. But that moment and that match and them going against the Shield for the Rhodes to stay in WWE, and if they lose, they're gone forever. And those fucking guys put on the best match I've ever seen, and my goosebumps and they're coming back just thinking about it. And being there, and then at the end when they win, after Dusty hits that elbow, and then the finish happens, and fucking Cody and Dustin go over, and they beat the Shield, and fucking they're playing the American Dream, and it's all 3 of them, and they're at and I'm fucking as a kid, I'm just fucking sitting there this is the best thing ever. And I became a Cody fan ever since then. And even when they turned him into Stardust, I still rooted for him. And that fucking moment really and I don't know where I was going with that after that story, but that fucking being there is when, and actually I do, to take it back to this. Now we're fast forward. I got out of wrestling again. I got back in after I moved in. I was with Doug. WWE started putting out some bad shit. I'm like, this is kind of sucking. I got to get out of here. AJ Styles, they're not booking him right. He's the world champion, but they're fucking it up. What's going on? I got to get out of here. And then for this Revolution starts up at AEW. Cody Rhodes. I like Cody. What the fuck? Yep. What is he doing? This is Dustin's. Now we're doing brother versus brother, and fucking the crowd's chanting Dusty. And fucking you got JR calling it. And like, there's so many magical parts, and also it's so relatable for me. Older brother, the old guard, young buck, fucking,
I can relate too.
Fucking young, 10-year difference, fucking, it's a relatable story.
I mean, I don't think he really needed to hit the crossroads on me.
Oh yeah, and I would beat the shit out of just like I would win that match, just like Cody did. But it was a related. I remember watching it, like, oh my god, and
that's because when you wrestle, you go in for a tickle fight.
But also, you and me are very, and we have that relationship. So at the end, when they're covered in blood, and he's like, "You don't get to retire," and then the fucking, I know it's the most corny shit now looking back, but even watching it then, it got me sucked in. And Dustin, I don't need a partner. I don't need a friend. I need my older brother. And like, I watching it the other day with Doug, I got up and hugged Doug after. We're like, fucking and fucking. But that is a moment that, like, that when you say AEW doesn't tell stories, that is a story in a match that is fucking real life and everything mixed in, and it's the best shit ever. And
don't forget, they didn't have AEW TV yet. They were doing all these stories on YouTube, I think, right?
Yeah, and I was watching every single video. I was hyped as fuck.
Yeah, because they were using that being the elite
in that YouTube channel, and Cody was putting out promos. They were talking shit to each other. Dustin was putting on the red face paint, and like, you kind of got this whole, and it's like, maybe it's Dustin's last ride. Maybe he's done after this. Maybe he's, and then you get the thing at the end, and it's just because he was about to lace up his boot. He was about to take his boots off, and he's like, no. And that was just such a cool fucking moment. Such a great match. And like I said, the moves become secondary, but the moves were fucking awesome. Every spot in the match mattered and meant something. Him fucking pulling the trout. We got to see some American Nightmare cheeks, and he fucking whips him like a child, like he's acting. And fucking JR with the two. You can say what you want about JR's run at AEW. Two iconic lines that need to be up there with Slobber Knocker is the cheeks of wrath, and he opened the woodshed. When he pulled his pants out, he opened the woodshed. Those two lines are two JR greats, damn it. The cheeks of wrath. And JR and the Dusty chants, and the crowd was so fucking into this. We get a Earl Hebner, Brandy's being an asshole, and we get an Earl Hebner fucking. It's just everything about
Earl has been in every company, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, he's the
was he in WCW with Doug?
He's the ultimate journeyman. No, he didn't do WCW.
No, he was in Crockett before it became
WWE. He did NWA, he did TNA, he did WWE, and in AEW.
Yeah, because then, when he was in Crockett before he went to WWE, and the only reason why he went to WWE is because they wanted to write off Dave, because Dave said he was getting too old for this shit. So they wanted to replace Dave with his twin brother so they could still call Earl Dave Hebner.
Earl Hebner is the greatest referee of all time.
Yeah.
He's still alive, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He is the only referee of all time. No, I think he's retired, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not refereeing or anything. I don't think anyway. He's like 85.
But Earl Hebner is the fucking
you never know. The guy hasn't aged. At least
Earl
to me,
Hebner
he hasn't.
Is the fucking man.
Yeah.
And he is the only referee. I mean, you can say Danny Davis and shit like that, but he's the only referee that's been a legitimate character on the show and actually like been over. And like when you piss Earl off and Earl pushes you back and the crowd's like, ah, and everyone's like, Earl's like a fucking, like, he was a member of the roster, but like he was like a part of the fucking show. Yep. He wasn't just a background.
He's part of the biggest controversy.
Yeah, like, and Earl became something. Like, Earl was a character. Like, Earl's the fucking man, and it's not even close.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
The one thing about Earl is when he got fired from WWE, it was because he fucking, as like a joke, as a side hustle, he bought like merchandise or he got like merchandise from the warehouse or something like that and pulled over on the side of the road and started selling WWE licensed merchandise in the hood of his car or in the trunk of his car.
The man's been a savage forever.
And somebody saw it and reported it, and Vince is just like, you can't do that, pal. That's our merchandising. You're not part of merchandising. And he's like, I was trying to make a little more money.
Well, I mean, it is stealing.
Yeah.
Fucking I mean, it is the wrong thing to do, but it just adds to the fucking legacy and badassery of Roman.
Yeah.
And I mean, that dude's a fucking legend. Hall of Fame referee. This match is the greatest match AEW's ever put on.
4-8.
5.
I give it a 6 out of 5.
Okay, Meltzer. But fucking
he's gonna flub his numbers tomorrow during the cartoon show.
Every fucking moment in this match had me in. Every single Cody had a baby, even destroying the throne at the beginning and fucking the whole fuck you to Triple H. And even though it's like doesn't age great, but it's like,
Looking back, watching it again, it feels like, oh no, he's in WWE now.
But I also see it because when you ask that man who his favorite wrestler is, he'll tell you it's Triple H. And for a guy, when you're a big fan of somebody, like Eminem was my favorite, obviously. You know, like I was a huge Eminem fan.
Was a man.
And fucking, but I had like 5, and I wanted to be a rapper, and I wrote like 5 disses to Eminem. Like I was a huge fan of him.
You were such a huge fan that you did everything you could to try not to lose that bet where you'd have to look like him.
Well, I don't want to go, but yeah, I don't want to be fat Eminem. I don't want to be Snickers. But
you don't want to be a peanut Eminem.
Yeah, I don't want to be the beefy yellow one. But no, but I had like 5 disses written to Eminem, even though I was a huge fan. So like he was a huge fan, but I'm in the game now. I'm a creative force on this this is my shit. I'm the face of the company. I'm the fucking man. I'm competing with you now. Fuck your throne. This is your sledgehammer. I do like I know his intentions, and it was it was pretty dope. He was like, that was his little
watching it live 6 years ago was great.
And I remember we're like, AEW!
Yeah. By the way, beefy yellow one should be the next thing you put on here. Like that's
the beefy yellow one.
Was I at your place watching it, or did we watch it separately?
I think we watched it separately.
Okay.
We watched one of them together. I think it was Fyter Fest, maybe.
I think it was actually Fight for the Fallen. So the one that went too fucking long.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, that was actually a dark time period for you, but we're not going to bring it up.
It just did. But I mean, it was a. Yeah.
All I remember about that night was getting fucked out. It was getting fucked out of wings because they didn't know how to deliver them to the right place, and then it's just like, just bring the wings here. It's like, oh, we can't do that. It's like, we paid for them, you fucking moron.
We can't do that. Yeah, the big.
I remember Doug was pissed because he needed to take me home because he had to work the next day or something.
Yeah, it was going long.
Yeah, it was like fucking midnight. And I had to be to work at 8, and I had to take you home. And it's just like somebody like we either like call him
like Cody, hit the fucking crossroads.
Yeah, it's like hit the fucking crossroads, get the win, so I could take this guy home.
Do the fucking Meltzer driver now, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Like, end this fucking thing.
Yeah. I remember now.
And AEW's every fucking he's out. Doug's like, ah!
Yeah, when you're fucking like when your Fyter Fest 3 weeks earlier goes 2.5 crisp hours.
Crisp.
All right. 2.5 crisp hours. And then this fucking thing goes 4.5. It's like, oh my God. Like, I want this company to fail.
And they did. So there you go. No, but
my apologies for anybody that.
Thanks, asshole. You ruined my revolution. But because you're cranky.
I thought you give it a 6 out of 5 because of the storytelling and the.
I know. I'm gonna respect the scale, but I get what you're saying. 5. It's a flat 5 out of 5 for me. This is the best match they've ever done. The best storytelling, the end, the beginning, the end. From beginning to end, it's the best. Within a story and a match, I've never seen it. Like, that is when I bought it, and I'm like, AEW's gonna be something. I was like, if they keep doing shit like this and you keep Cody around, fucking yeah, you're gonna be. It's gonna be special. I knew that the money was.
Look what they did.
The money was with Cody from that moment on.
There. Of course, I mean,
but Does nobody know what time we do a show?
I don't know. Keep talking.
All right. All right. So we moving on to the next one.
Yeah.
Yep. Love the
All
match. I agree with Daniel. Everything you said. That's
Just the
basically
magic.
I would have said.
It's the magic in the building. It's the Dusty chants. It's everything about it.
Yeah, and the fact that the crowd was so hot for this match is like, yeah, they were really into this match.
We don't need to talk about the segment that they did for the world title thing, do we?
Yeah, a little bit. Bret Hart comes out.
Bret Hart comes out. It was supposed to be Ric Flair.
I remember that, yeah.
Then Paige comes out. They show him the belt. MJF comes out, gets major heat right away. He is so good at that.
Yes, he is.
Then Jungle Boy comes out, and then for some reason Jimmy Havoc comes out. Jimmy Havoc could have been something good too, but he figured that, you know, when they decided they were going to start teaming him with Kip Sabian, he figured he'd rather have his sexual abuse allegations come out instead.
Yeah,
fucking moron. No, I don't want to team with you. Instead, why don't we bring up the fact of when I did something wrong to some girl back in England? Dumbass.
Yep, we could have had Jimmy Havoc versus Mox.
I enjoyed the segment. Besides, I mean, they were trying to build up their younger talent, and it was like you had me with MJF and fucking Adam Page, but then when Jungle Boy comes out acting all tough, and then it's like, all right. And I like the scapegoat Jack Perry, even though that storyline tanked.
Yeah,
I do like that, and it should have fucking been something. But this, no. All right. But Bret Hart, it's always fucking good seeing him, and this was fun, and this was another like WWE was ass at the time, so then bringing out Bret Hart, it's like yeah, and Bret Hart's like fuck you guys, AEW baby.
Yeah, right after he got inducted into the Hall of Fame for a second time.
and now that year? And now you fast forward, and AEW's doing what it's doing, and fucking Bret Hart's on Raw. Fuck
you, AEW.
Bret Hart just love to just go around screwing everybody.
Yeah, but
Bret's the guy that screws. You're right.
Yeah,
he's the screwer.
Yeah, but watch. I wonder where Bret's allegiance is going to lie when they give Goldberg his retirement match. Like Goldberg goes on, has his retirement match, and Goldberg convinces Triple H to let him win the damn match, and you're going to have Bret going, "Fuck you, Goldberg, and fuck you, Triple H, for giving him what he wants."
He's like, "I knew you were bad when you fucked me, and you're fucking me again." And it's going to be great. I think Bret Hart should referee the match.
And then he's going to be on, and then he's going to fucking be like, you know what? My allegiance is to wow women of wrestling.
He's like, we're bringing back Lucha Underground, and we're taking it to Canada. Damn it, Montreal Underground.
He goes to ROH and he says, "TK, I'll buy ROH and bring it to Canada, Ring of Honor Canada."
I fucking love Bret Hart. He needs to referee that match. They need to do Gunther Goldberg world title. Bret Hart.
Does he have his own podcast?
No. He started one like years ago, but he talks so much shit about Seth Rollins and Michael Hayes to where like he's like, all right, and then he got called out for the shit he was saying.
If you want an honest opinion, go to Bret Hart. If you want somebody that's going to tell you exactly what's on their mind at that moment, go to Bret Hart.
I would love to have him on the podcast. That would be. We would get like
Doug and Bret Hart in the same room would be fucking hilarious.
Oh my god!
The amount of me and Eric would need the umbrella for that shit storm. The amount of people that would get shit on.
Hey, Brett, did you ever see Shawn Michaels sucking off Triple H?
Fucking Doug will be like, and what are your thoughts on Booker T?
I think Booker T sucks. What do you think of him?
Brett's like, I'm a big fan. All right, we'll move on.
Moving on. Brett, it was nice having it. You talk good about Booker T. You're off my fucking show.
I love Booker
T. You would leave the video right away.
Yeah, it would be hilarious. But all right, the Young Bucks and the Luchas, Ray Phoenix, and a guy that gets talked about a little bit, but not much nowadays, Penta.
I think he's going to do some things.
He might. No, Penta's hot right now. And
so
it's-
is his
you're a piece of shit.
No,
And
he's
there
got
goes the Penta interview.
No, he's got a hot wife.
And that's great.
I'm,
We're talking about the man's
I
talent.
know. I'm not dissing his wife. I'm saying she's hot.
I know, but a lot of guys, with girlfriend. I mean, maybe he'll take it as a compliment. But the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers, Matt and Nikki, and they defend the AAA Tag Team Championships, the only belts that get defended on this, not AEW belts. Another sign of what's to come. And the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. This was a great spot fest. This was a really fun tag match. I can say the early Young Bucks magic does pop out here a little bit. I don't want to be a straight Young Bucks hater, even though it's very easy to be. But
I'll do it.
I know. But back then, they did have some chutzpah back in them. And the Lucha Brothers were fucking awesome. So and this ended up – the cage match is way better. But this is still a 4.1 out of 5.
I mean, in the back, they were licking each other's chutzpahs.
Solid 4 out of 5.
3.2. I didn't enjoy it. I thought it went too long, and the whole arm breaker to the piece of shit Jackson.
I do agree that it did go too long.
And then they still did the best Meltzer or the Meltzer
driver,
dick sucking thing early, later. It's just like it lost me. Like, he broke your arm. You should not be trying to tombstone him, you stupid fuck. So yeah,
I do think the wrong team won.
Huh?
I think Lucha should have won.
Yeah.
Who won the tag or the cage match again? I forget.
Lucha Bros.
So there you go. Long-term storytelling, dickheads. But what'd you give it, Eric?
Took him 2 years.
Fuck you. I didn't mean that.
All right, I'll unzip.
The Lucha Brothers should have been the face of the tag team.
I agree. Or you split them up and have them do great things on their. I mean, Penta, WWE. I'm not going to be the fucking 100th guy to tell you that Penta fucking. And I already said it on the breakdown that Penta is more important than he's ever been.
Yeah.
In fucking one night, as opposed to 5 years. I don't like it's beating a dead horse, and I don't want to like his. So that booking has been fucking criticized and justifiably so. But Penta not being a star there and then being a huge star right now, we'll see how WWE. He could get put in the LWO still. He could get fucked over.
I mean, it could happen. I mean, the tag match could happen this week. Who knows?
So, but hopefully they fucking keep them strong and keep doing what they're doing because amazing debut from Penta.
I agree.
All right. Let's move on to the main event. The Judas, the Rainmaker, Chris Jericho against Kenny Omega, the best bout machine. The winner faces Adam Page, Hangman, and All Out for the World Championship that old Bret Hart fucking showed you earlier. This goes 27 minutes for a Jericho win. Obviously, the big moment at the end when Moxley comes out and fucks up everybody and does the finish, does the dirty deeds or whatever it is now to
paradigm shift.
The paradigm shift to Omega on the casino chip, which I thought was a great visual to end the show.
Yeah.
This whole thing and Jericho's promo, I like Jericho winning because it sets up fucking Kenny Omega's losing streak, and that was one of the more compelling things about the beginning of that is that he couldn't win, and it's like this is the best bout machine, but he keeps losing, and that was a compelling little story that they were telling. So I enjoy and Jericho's promo and fucking we filled this place up because of me. This is all because of me. Like it was great, and then Moxley coming out and doing the fucking, and the backstage footage that's been released lately of fucking Cody and Gorilla and everybody and them fucking going ham when he fucking like that. That was a really good moment, and that's another like they're gonna compete. They're gonna fucking do it like Moxley.
I was all in.
Yeah, pun unintended. But we were fucking like.
No, he intended the pun.
This was like a big fucking moment that's like, oh, this company means fucking business. Like after you see 100 fucking surprise fucking, it starts to wear off. But this first one, Moxley coming out, big deal. This was about to change some shit.
And he did.
And he did. And now I really want the belt to go off him for him to kind of go away for a little bit. But at the moment, fucking, he was, he was the fucking man. And that was a big fucking.
I think Mox needs to take a break a little bit. I mean, I love Mox, but
me
and
too.
he's been part of this company since day one.
But I like Mox coming out the Wild thing, being a badass babyface. Yeah. I don't like this whole the Death Riders. The title in the suitcase and him being a hitman mercenary, like with hitman behind him. I'm good. And also a takeover after a takeover, like literally month, like it's just like fucking. I thought the Elite took over. Now they ran away. Now these people take over. How many people are taking over this bitch? It's just like, give it a rest. But this original, like this whole match, a 4.6. It did. This is when I was like, wow, Jericho's out of shape, but he still put out a great match with him and Omega.
I'll say 4 or 5. I mean, Jericho did great. I mean, still gutsy move. Gutsy move going without a bra.
Yeah, gutsy. I mean, gutsy. His belly was big.
Yeah.
I forgot he still had this. He started with this entrance. He needs to go back to that entrance. The theme song. I missed that.
You know, Jericho's belly kind of reminds me of that one scene in Family Guy where Peter provides body heat for Lara Flynn Boyle.
Yeah.
Where like he just covers her with his big ass stomach and he goes, "You have yourself a fine sleep." And it's just like, thanks, Peter. It's just like she's wearing like this nightgown and you see Peter just put like fucking 300 pounds of flab over her. She treats it like a comforter. It's like, Jericho, you could have a job as Peter Griffin's body double.
What'd you give this match?
4.6.
Eric?
I'll give it a 4.75.
Always adding the extra numbers.
This whole show, my final thoughts and what I thought of this show and my rating out of 10, it's an 8.2. It was a great fucking start to it could spark a revolution. It's one of those shows. It had some filler on it, but it had enough big money matches, some good storytelling, and big moments. And that's what you need out of a big show. And it was their first big show, and it really meant a lot. And I think like this is peak AEW. So like this is when they were really fucking hot. This is like it was about to be something, and you can tell. And the magic of this show really gets it to that 8.2.
Look, I give it an 8.5. There was some there wasn't filter. Maybe there's some matches that should have been shorter. Young Bucks match, but I do agree with you there, Doug. But yeah, overall, great pay-per-view, great first pay-per-view to start a new company, and without TV, they told some good stories. People forget TV and for all these matches.
So I'm giving it an 8.1. It was like there was some filler and a lot of some stuff probably did go too long, but it was a good first outing, good first showing, and you got to show some guys who really could have helped carry the company. And some of the girls too, like Hikaru Shida, she did an awesome job carrying the company on her back during the pandemic era.
Yeah, she did. She doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah, not at all. And it was just, I mean, it was a really good show.
All right. Next week,
we should probably do double wrestling at some point. All in, all out.
We'll do any of those, whatever you want to do. Next week, we will be paying tribute to Black Bart with some special guests. We still have got to work that out and announce. Do you want to announce anybody officially, or should we wait?
I mean, Rod Price said he would do it. I just have to remind him. So I'm going to text him at some point this weekend, and maybe he can help me wrangle up like another guest or two. But Rod's got plenty of stories about old BB.
And so we're going to be paying tribute to Black Bart. Rest in peace. That is the episode next week. And then we'll be doing a Rumble the week after.
Yeah.
And do your cartoons.
All right. When tunes combine tomorrow night, the Cartoon Classic continues. You're going to have Eric, myself, Sean, and whoever decides to join us in the chat room. It is the Dog League. It is Ren and Stimpy versus Doug versus Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Versus Cat Dog. So it's league number 5.
Yep.
And so that's going to be fun. Well, it's going to be fun to see who else besides Scooby-Doo advances.
So yeah, check that out.
7 p.m. tomorrow.
7 p.m. Also on Sunday, we will be doing the Unscripted Network Trivia Show, Mindy's Trivia thing. She's been working really hard on it. Me, Doug, and Eric will be participating, so check that out. That'll be a fun thing.
I'm going to kick your ass.
I disagree. But we'll see what happens. All right, Eric. It's already getting competitive. But all right.
If Eric's got a higher score than me, I'm leaving the show.
Okay. That's it.
And this earth, by the way.
That's on record. This is recorded.
On the program. So check that out. And we will see everybody next week for wrestling.
I'm going to make that short, Doug.
Thank you so much.
All right. Later.
Bye, boys. See you tomorrow.
I agree.